My name is Eleanor. I am 105 years old. At this age, people expect wisdom from you, but what you actually gain is permission. Permission to stop pretending you understand life better than you do. You don't become certain. You become honest. When you live this long, memories rearrange themselves. The crowded years, work, errands, arguments, responsibilities, blur together like days seen through a moving train window. But a few moments remain sharp. A quiet conversation that lasted longer than necessary. A morning where no one was rushing you. A simple evening you didn't try to improve. Everything else fades. So before I tell you anything comforting, let me tell you something true. Most of what worried you will disappear. Most of what you ignored will stay. You spend decades protecting things that cannot remain and overlooking things that quietly shape your life. From here, happiness looks very different from what you imagine now. Not louder, not more exciting, just calmer and strangely ordinary. And that is why people miss it. Because nothing announces itself as important while it is happening. If you are young enough to still plan your future, you are also young enough to delay living inside it. The mistake is gentle. You won't feel it when it begins. In my 20s and 30s, I believed happiness was organized in a straight line ahead of me. I didn't think I was avoiding life. I thought I was arranging it. There was always a condition that had to be satisfied first. After work becomes stable. After the bills feel lighter. After I become more secure in who I am. Each condition sounded reasonable, even responsible. So I agreed with it. I woke early, slept tired, and told myself the effort had a purpose, that I was building a future where I could finally relax inside my days instead of managing them. But something subtle was happening. The moment one problem ended, another stepped into its place. A new goal replaced the finished one. A new responsibility justified another delay. I didn't notice because nothing felt wrong. My life was functioning exactly as planned. Years passed filled with activity but missing arrival. I remember the schedules clearly, the appointments, the obligations, the deadlines, but very few moments that felt complete while they were happening. The dangerous part of preparation is that it feels productive. You don't question it because it looks like progress. From 105 years away, I can tell you this gently. I did not waste my youth through reckless mistakes. I used it carefully, and postponed living until conditions were right. Conditions never become right. They simply change their names. And while you wait for a calmer season to begin your life quietly becomes the season you were waiting through. By the middle years of life, your dreams grow quieter. Not because they disappear, because they become practical. You no longer chase possibilities. You protect what you have built. In my 40s and 50s, happiness changed its shape. It stopped looking like excitement and started looking like safety. I wanted stability, predictability, and a future that wouldn't surprise me in painful ways. So I organized everything. Insurance papers in drawers. Savings plans carefully arranged. Decisions made to avoid risk rather than invite experience. It felt wise, mature, responsible. And it worked. Life became calmer. But calm slowly turned into sameness. Days stopped standing apart from each other. Mornings began to resemble every other morning. I could move through entire weeks without anything demanding my full attention. I thought this meant I had succeeded. Only later did I understand what I had traded. Security removes urgency, but urgency is what wakes you up inside a moment. Without it, you function smoothly, yet faintly. Nothing terrible happened. Nothing especially alive happened either. Happiness did not leave loudly. It faded into comfort. From where I sit now, I see the mistake clearly. I tried to design a life where nothing unexpected could disturb me. But the unexpected is what makes a day memorable. In protecting tomorrow from uncertainty, I made today forgettable. And forgettable days do not feel heavy while you live them. Only when you try to remember them later. In old age, life becomes smaller, not in value, but in scale. There are fewer places to go, fewer tasks to finish, fewer reasons to hurry. And in that quiet reduction, something surprising appears: clarity. You begin to see which moments stayed with you, and which ones never truly happened even though you were present. I used to believe achievements would be what I carried forward, the work completed, the goals reached, the plans fulfilled. But those memories feel distant now, like facts I was told rather than experiences I lived. What remains vivid are the simple things I once rushed through. Sitting beside someone without checking the time. Listening to a story I had already heard. Allowing a silence to last without filling it. At the time, those moments felt ordinary, almost interchangeable. Now they feel rare and strangely precious. I realize I spent years trying to make days efficient, unaware that efficiency removes texture. You do not remember when everything went according to plan. You remember when you noticed you were alive inside a moment. Old age does not give you new happiness, it shows you where happiness always was. Not in progress. Not in completion. In attention. And the painful part is this. Nothing important was hidden from me. I was simply somewhere else while it happened. We think we must create meaningful experiences. But meaning was repeating quietly every day, waiting only for us to stop moving long enough to feel it. By the time you reach the far end of life, happiness becomes a very small word. Not because it matters less, because it was never as complicated as we made it. When I was young, happiness meant gaining something, a better situation, a better mood, a better version of myself. I believed it would arrive when enough problems disappeared and enough desires were satisfied. So I kept adjusting life, expecting a lasting feeling to follow. It never did. Pleasure came and went. Success came and went. Even peace came and went. I thought happiness was fragile because it never stayed. Only later did I understand the mistake. Happiness was not leaving, I was interrupting it. Every time a moment became simple, I tried to improve it. Turn it into progress. Turn it into a plan. Turn it into something useful for later. But happiness does not survive being converted into a tool. At 105, happiness feels different. It is permission to let a moment finish without correcting it. A chair by the window. A slow conversation. The sound of nothing urgent happening. The happiest people I have known were not the luckiest. They were the least resistant. They allowed life to be incomplete without trying to fix the feeling immediately. We spend years chasing better experiences. Yet happiness was waiting in the space between experiences. The space we kept trying to fill. When you reach an age where plans no longer stretch far ahead, you stop asking how long life is and start asking how deeply it was entered. From here, I can tell you something gently. Life is not short. Attention is. You will live thousands of ordinary days. Only a few will ever feel truly inhabited, the ones where you were not waiting for something else to begin. I spent many years believing a calmer time would come, a season where responsibilities settled and I could finally rest inside my life without preparing for the next task. That season never arrived. Calm is not a location in the future. It is a decision made in the middle of noise. If you wait for certainty before allowing yourself to feel alive, you will spend decades rehearsing instead of living. You don't need dramatic change after hearing this. You need interruption, small moments where you refuse to rush past what is already here. Sit without turning it into a break. Listen without forming a reply. Stay without checking how long it has been. At the end, you do not wish for more years. You wish you had entered more of the years you were given. Happiness is not something you finally reach. It is what remains when you stop postponing the present moment for a better one. And the future you fear losing is simply today, seen too late.